Hello, it's Graham Frost here again, talking about heart-shaped decisions and how to make them. So the next idea that I had was to talk about what you do for a living, and do you do just some? Do you do something for a living just so you can make enough money to live, or do you do something for a living because it makes you feel good, or is it a combination? Now, for me, I fell into working in customer services. I left home at 17, went to work in a pub, and I'd never served customers before. Before that, I used to work in an office for about a year, and of course, before that, I was at school, and I'd never really done anything that involved serving customers. So I had to learn how to do that from the ground up, and it wasn't until quite a few years later when I was working on the railway, and again, I applied for a job on the railway in 1978. I know, isn't that a long time ago? And I it probably was a heart-shaped decision when I look back, because I remember my partner at the time saying to me, Graham, you really need to get a proper job. And I said, I've got a proper job. And she said, no, you haven't, because you don't know whether you're going to have a job next week. I was doing casual work in pubs and restaurants and all kinds of things like that. And there wasn't really a future in it. And she rightly said to me, you need to get a proper job with a bit of a future and maybe a pension. And who thinks about pensions when they're like 22, 23? So, and I didn't anyway. And so I did. I said, well, you know what? I've always fancied working on the railway, and so perhaps it was a heart-shaped decision to do. So I wrote a letter to the people who ran the railway catering, and I always remember it because I wrote it on pink paper with a green pen. And I don't think you'd get a job now if you did that, but this was in 1978. And I got the job. I had an interview, got the job, and I went and started work there. And it was very strange and old-fashioned. I mean, I think back to some of the things that went on and how things were in those days. But gradually, over a period of time, I had to have 15 months off when I had cancer, and I went back and I thought, I'm going to make a go of this. I like it. I enjoy it, and I decided that I was going to get better at customer service. It was a heart-shaped decision, because I realised if I got better at customer service, that I would give people better service, and they would thank me for it. And I quite liked that. I remember getting a letter from my manager to say that he had a commendation about me in the very early 1980s, and that was kind of unheard of in those days. So yes, it was a heart-shaped decision to stay there for as long as I did, and I had some massively enjoyable times and did some things that I really am proud of having done while I was in that industry for 24 years. So I would say, put your heart into what you do, and do something because it makes you feel good. Don't just do it for the money. And then, of course, the massive heart-shaped decision that I made in 1996, which was to put me on the road to where I really am today, was when I was offered the opportunity to go into learning and development. And I remember my chief executive at the time, a wonderful man called Christopher Garnett, said to me, Graham, we'd like to get you involved in delivering training. And I said, does that mean I've got to get up and speak in front of people? And he said, well, yes. He said, but we can give you that skill. What we can't do is duplicate your experience. Will you please apply for the job? So I did. And I got the job, and I went in, and after about 6 months of learned how to deliver training and how to write training and everything. It was fantastic, a fantastic experience for me. And I went in and I thought, this is what I was born to do. This is my purpose, to actually help other people to be better at what they do. And that was when I was 40 years of age. I found my purpose when I was 40 years of age, was actually helping other people to be better at what they do, to have better lives. And I was good at it. I'm very openly quite proud of the work that I did during that time, and since. It's great it's great to actually, you feel fantastic when light bulbs come on in other people's heads when you speak to them, when you deliver training or you deliver a talk or whatever it is. So yes, it was absolutely a heart-shaped decision for me to go into learning and development. So what's your heart? How do you feel about what you do? How do how does it make you feel when you have to go to work? Do you get enjoyment from it? It could be my partner is particularly brilliant at Excel spreadsheets and she gets great enjoyment from that. Now I don't understand that at all because it's not me, but it could be it could be that working in software and solving problems makes people feel good. That wouldn't be for me. I'm more of a people person. Or, my brother, for example, is a craftsman carpenter and he gets great joy out of creating something out of timber. And what are you doing? How are your feelings involved in what you do? How can you involve your feelings more in what you do for a living? So thank you for listening. I'm Graham Frost, and I'll be back with another video very soon.